Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Ginger Joe Racing Show, proudly sponsored by Oddschecker. It's a bit of a 16-day kind of long shift now until Cheltenham, so we're recording on Sunday afternoon, and we're joined by our two special guests to preview day one of the Cheltenham Festival from the Cheltenham Exchange. He has just come off a recording from his quiz, Mr. Boss Man himself, Ian Rayner. How's it going?
Oh, and I'm very good, Scotty. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
Are
Yeah,
you are you
I'm going
losing your
away.
religion?
losing my religion. The Hammers are winning, Coventry are winning. Chelsea lost. So, Alex, how's it going?
Oh yeah, very good. The main team of mine won yesterday. The mighty Cheltenham Town. They won
Yes.
Yeah.
yesterday, 3-0. What a team!
Yeah. Plenty of winners at Cheltenham, hopefully, in a few weeks as well. Alex, Jamie,
Hopefully.
how's it going, Jamie?
Wasn't it great yesterday? Chelsea lost again. Yeah, great. Good, Scotty, and yourself. I'm take down the Cheltenham Town thing, but who are they?
Exactly.
And you beat
Massive
the Welsh
challenge.
Jamie yesterday in the egg chasing.
We beat the old Welsh Jig chasing again, sure. Even with 14 men, we're still the best team in the world.
There we go. It's going to be a lively show, Joseph. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I was just thinking the same actually. It seems like we're all on good form. So I'm expecting a few back and forth with the Cheltenham Exchange lads on today. It's always entertaining then, isn't it?
Good, good. Yeah, I mean, I was at a wedding yesterday and I did a little backdoor exit, walked across the beach to get home to make sure I was fresh enough for today. So, what we're going to do, we're going to run through the races on day one, which is obviously the Tuesday, 11th of March at Cheltenham. I think we're going to take our time and try and get to the bottom of every single race. I think some will be probably easier to solve than the others, but it'll be interesting to see what everybody thinks. So, without further ado, we're going to whack into the first race, which is the Supreme Novices Hurdle, which is run over 2 miles. And Jamie Wren, we're going to go straight to you, buddy, because Kopek de Board is now a 10 to 11 favourite Ante-Post in this race. I think you had a bigger price. We're going to ask you what price you got in a second, but his opposition, I think, is going to be still relatively strong. I don't think it's a penalty kick by any means. 11 to 2 Salvador Mundi, his stablemate, who was the number one until Kopek de Board won at the DRF. Romeo Coolio at sixes, work ahead at 9 to 1. And here comes the money, William Money at 12s, and it is 16 to 1 bar. The new line in at 12s. I'm not counting him because he is going to Turners. Jamie, Kopek de Board, you were on at a huge price. Tell us what price you were on and tell us how you're feeling now.
I was actually in the stand, Scotty, after Romeo Coolio lost the Royal Bond. And I looked to my father and I said, will we take a chance on Kopek to board at 25 to 1 for the Supreme? And we said we'd go for it. And it's worked out. I backed him. I put up in the Ante-Post series at 16 to 1. I'm happy. I said at Christmas, like, he was the most impressive horse, even, and he did everything wrong. If you look now further afield, Kawambunga has franked the form. Kawambunga beat Here Comes the Money, William Money, and William Money absolutely hosed up generally. And it's the quote, I suppose, when you come to the collateral form, what Barry Connell said after the race. He said the speed figure that they did, Kawambunga winning money, would have won 9 out of the last 10 Supremes or something like that, he said. And that's definitely uh, happy with the collateral form there at Copa. He was, as we were there, Joe, and all of us there at the DRF, we saw how impressive he was. He's just a really, really good horse. And look, I'm happy with the slip. The only other horse I'd be interested in, really, especially with the form again tied in with winning money, is work ahead. I think he's the only danger, Scotty. To be honest, with you. I think he's going to go out in front, and I suppose he's acted as he's jumping. Now the problem is we haven't seen him since Christmas. He's a little bit of inexperience. He hasn't been in a great array yet. That's the only small bit. The one horse I can have here is Salvatore Mundi. I think people kind of jumped on the bandwagon because he was second to Giorgino. Like, it all doesn't work out after a while. They think, oh, he was better than, like, he was up there for Sergino, but horses improve in different times. Do you know what I mean? He had the worst RPR since the drill deal, so I couldn't have him.
Wow.
No, definitely not. William Money, to me, he'd have to settle better. Still has to settle better. He didn't settle all. He did settle the last day, but he's still at the start of the race, not settling properly. Now, hopefully, the pace of the race will help him. I will say that. But no, I can't see Kopek de Boer being beaten, and I think the each way play is working for definitely it.
Yeah, I like that, Jamie. I'm in a very similar boat to you. I'm the only one I kind of fear is work ahead. I do think there's a lot of scope for improvement, still very unexposed. Boss man, you were nodding your head with the Kawabunga form line there. Are you a fan of Kopek de Board, or is there something in the race you're going to back each way?
I was originally a Romeo Coolio fan, I have to admit, and I was impressed with his winning the fog at Leopardstown. And then, as Willie Mullins' bingo as always is, I was under the impression that Kopek, after all the Salvatore money thing, would be the Turner's horse, the Ballymore horse. But obviously, since then, we've seen the Dublin Racing Festival where he wowed me. I didn't have him backed, but I have now. I have to admit. And I agree with Jamie what he was saying about work ahead as well. He was again very impressive. I think that was Leopardstown as well. When he led from the front all the way. So I can kind of picture the race. I think Romeo Coolio definitely needs a lead. I think when he was beaten in the Royal Bond, he sat too far deep for me. He needs to dictate. Work ahead will be up the front in the van, will dictate, and Kopek will just sit behind for me personally. But yeah, not much else to add, to be honest. But I think Kopek would be the one for me now. He's changed my mind, Scotty.
Yeah, I think you analysed that well there, Ian. I think the pace of the race is going to be massively in Kopek de Board's favour here. He won't have to make his own running, and I think it could potentially suit him. But again, wouldn't want to give work ahead too much rope. Alex, are you on the same opinion? You on Kopek de Board, or have you backed anything else you fancy in the race?
Yeah, same opinion really. I am going to just consult the archives and say that someone on this call today has described Kopek de Board as shit before, and it was none of the English here or the Frenchman. So,
Yeah,
Mr. Jamie
I did say it. I actually was talking to Sean Dunn, and he said to me, "You didn't like him at the start." I said, "No," but I said at Christmas when Patrick Mullins shows you how bad of a jockey he is. But he is a better bumper jockey. I'm not, there's no denying
Yeah.
that. But no, he really impressed me.
Sorry,
But I got
just
the price.
missed that
I
bit.
got the price, Alex. Did you get the price?
I did get the price, but I got the
Good.
price on the wrong race. So
Oh,
Join the
my
club, mate. Join the club.
yeah, there's
heartily.
a lot of us in that club.
Go
Although I
on, yeah.
won't say all hope is lost on that because we know what Mullins is like, and between the three of
There we go.
Monday, Kopek de Board, and Final Demand, if one of them misses the festival from injury, they may change plans, etc. You know what Willie Mullins is like; he likes to keep us all guessing, doesn't he? Right until the last minute. So it does look like he's going to come here, though. I will agree, and he is obviously the most likely winner. There's nothing really more that I can add, really.
Yeah. So another strong mention for Kopek de Board. Joe, I'm not really sure, but I know you obviously like William Money in the race. You've been a big fan of his for a long time. Are you kind of like sticking with him, or would you be willing to get stuck into Kopek de Board? Is that your kind of bet at 10 to 11?
It is. I love a shorty, Scotty. I don't mind lumping a short one at all. The problem is in this sort of race, a lot of favourites don't necessarily actually have the best record.
Yeah.
We've seen plenty of short price horses turned over, and the thing is with Cope at the board as well, he was really poor with his jumping on debut, and yes, he improved for his second start, but one mistake in a Supreme, you really are on the back foot and quick. You're not going to be able to make up that room very, very quickly, to be honest with you. Yeah, look, a big fan of William Money, Barry Connell, Marine Nationale, all of that good stuff, but yeah, he like Jamie said, to be fair, his first two starts, like he wasn't keen just for a part of the race. It was the entirety. It was from start to finish. And he never managed to obviously do himself justice. Now they switched the mouthpiece last time out to like a rubber coated mouthpiece, and that just sort of enabled him to settle better. But then halfway through the race, he did get lit up again and started acting keen. He then dropped the bit, and look, he could be anything, but he's still going to have to improve on what we've seen so far. But also, like Jamie, I am quite keen on work ahead here. He's the one that could just be anything, couldn't he? He's been put away after his win at Christmas. Deeply impressive, sort of the way he did it as well. And he could possibly be the one to trouble the main protagonist here. I'm not like Ian, though. I think work ahead will sit behind a little bit, actually. I don't think they're going to go and want to make the pace with him when they. The fact they put him away so soon, I don't think they're going to want to make it a stamina test straight away. I think they'll sit behind the pace and try and pick him off. And Romeo Coolio, I do agree though, if he sets the pace, gets first run. They tried to ride him for speed in the Royal Bond and it didn't work. Just let him go out in front to see if they can catch him. Look, I'm really excited about this race, and it's easy to make a case for a few of them, but the each way angle for me is work ahead. But Kopek de Boer is going to be deeply hard to beat if he jumps his hurdles well again. That's sort of where I'm at, Scotty.
Nice. I think the other one that was potentially after yesterday winning the Dovecot was Tripoli Flyer. I think he won pretty impressively, but I do believe he bled during the race as well. So
Did he?
that is a bit of a negative, obviously, but he's probably the best of the British. So if he takes his chances, I think he'd have a little squeak each way. Joe, we're going to stick with you because we're going to move on to race two. We're going to go to the Arkle Novices Chase, run over 2 miles. A race, we're not going to go on about it too much. I think we've been robbed of probably the matchup of the festival, losing
Yeah.
Sergino. But we're left with Madgeborough. He's 8 to 13 at the moment on the sportsbook on Betfair. Lodersud 9 to 2. Django Bay, who's dropping back. His target was going to be the Brown Advisory, but now they've lost obviously some big horses kind of in a division. Sergino, he's dropping back here. He's 9 to 1. Only by night we lost saw Exeter at tens for Gavin Cromwell. And then you've got the likes of Ballyburn, who's probably going to go the other race. Touch Me Not at 12s, 5 Fox 14s, and pretty much any price you want the rest. Joe, you're a Madgeborough fan.
Yeah, no, I love Big Mad Joe. I do. It's probably one of the Willie Bingo
What
selections that I've
do you mean?
sort of got for the right race. I know a lot of people were just assuming he was going to be a Browns horse because he's big. It's just a really poor correlation. You look at sort of Tiger Roll, he was tiny and he was brilliant for the stay-in fences, and it doesn't always work like that. And he showed plenty of speed on debut. A lot of people are saying he finished slow as well in the Triumph. I don't buy that at all. Probably just looks slower than most because he's so big, but he's still traveling at hell of a speed. He's taken to fences really well. He quickened away on debut. He got a lot of stick as well for his run at the DRF, and people saying he jumped poorly. Again, I think it's utter nonsense myself. He winged the third last. Every time he met the right stride, he was brilliant. And all those that he got on a little bit close, he put himself right and got to the other side, no problem. I think his mentality for a 5-year-old going chasing has been brilliant. And look, I have been a big advocate of giving these sort of juveniles time before you send them chasing, but him and Sergino made me look a fool there, to be honest with you. He looks exceptional, Madgeborough, and I wouldn't want to be taking him on for an each way bit of money here because for me, if you want an each way selection, you've got to think it can beat the favourite, and I don't think anything in this race can, to be honest with you.
Yeah, nice. I mean, like our friend Liam Firkin said, he's a big follower of the IQ data, and he said at Leopardstown it was all in the jumping, even though he looked a bit low and maybe obviously he was making absolute lengths in the air, and that's obviously his asset as he's getting from A to B over fences. I'm I'm tentative on the race. I'll quickly put my 5 pence in. I've always been a fan of Loda Sud. I just think things would have to go massively wrong for Madgeborough for Loda Sud to win. I do think he'll hit the frame, but at 14 to 1, I'm happy enough. But
Hmm.
I'm in the opinion where I think only by night's definitely one that could run a big race here. I
Fully
think this
agree,
is
yeah.
definitely kind of her race. So they probably be the two I'll be looking at each way. Alex, I really don't know if you're a Madgeborough fan here. I haven't heard you talk much about the Arkle kind of race this year. So tell us what you're thinking.
I mean, to be honest, like Joe said, we've been robbed of what could have been one of the races of the festival, Sugino against Madgeborough. Um, I still think Madgeborough is obviously the most likely winner, like clearly. But I mean, at the prices, I'd be happy to take a chance on Loda Sud in case Madgeborough doesn't give his best. I mean, Loda Sud obviously 4 from 4 over fences. The 5-year-old stat, I think it was nearly 20 years since a 5-year-old won the Arkle. Um, yeah, I've been quite impressed with Loda Sud. I mean, I'm not saying he'd be a poor winner of an Arkle. I think he'd be sort of an average winner. Wouldn't be like a good winner, but yeah, at the prices, and also, wouldn't it be nice to see a John Hale's own grey horse to win a
Wouldn't it
race at the
just?
festival? Obviously after his passing last month. So yeah, that'd be quite nice. And his form did get a nice sort of frank yesterday yesterday at the time of recording when
Mhm.
Rubo won at Kempton. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think at the prices I'll take Loda Sud, but yeah, Madgeborough is probably the most likely winner, like clearly.
Nice. I like that, Alex. Yeah, it would be great to see John Hales have a winner at the festival. I think everybody would echo that. Jamie, tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah, yeah. I'm look, and there's no disrespect to anybody. I'm not really into the race IQ stuff and all that, but I'll go with my eye. And I wasn't that impressed with his jumping, to be honest. I didn't. I thought he jumped better on debut. I think if he's going to be twisting and turning a lot more in the arc. It's a quicker track, and I'd be slightly worried about that. I would say that because the way he fiddled over. Now he was making lengths on the net, but if he makes a shape the way I saw down the back straight in Leopardstown at Cheltenham, he's not going to get away with that. But I think his size and scope will get him out of trouble. There's no doubt about that. I suppose, yeah, like Luda Sodas, the form was franked yesterday by Rubo. He has a chance now, Scotty, compared to when you put him up, I think, because
Mhm.
it's going to be a small field. It is going to be a small field. Um, I think the way the ground is at the moment, Alex, probably no more than me, it's probably good to soft. I say at the moment over there, and there is rain forecast. And I'm just telling you now, and I don't care what anyone says, if it's heavy ground, Ballyburn is going to switch. There is no doubt about that. He's 4-1 non-runner or bet. He's top price 12-1 with Betfair. I took a bit of the 12s the last day on him because if it's heavy ground, you have to remember too. You're going on about Willie Mullins bingo. He has 7 in the Browns to choose between. He's only 2 left in the Arkle. Paul Townend's not going to be sitting on his arse. I'm telling you that now for nothing. He's not. He's the number 1 rider of Willie Mullins for a reason. So I think the only chance I have is an absolute bog. Heavy ground that it was when Gaelic Warrior won there, sure, and I wouldn't back against him on the day on heavy ground. I think he's a right chance to beat. Because the best performance for me all year is Sergino versus Ballyburn. I know Sergino beat him well, but it was still £7 at the end of the day he was giving him, and still the best performance, bar that. So the only other horse I'll throw in is that I'm very disappointed Devon Cromwell is putting in only by night here. She's not without a chance of getting £7 the way the small field is, and if she's 10-1 now, take a chance on her. I would. Bar Margeborough. Margeborough I suppose is the most likely winner, but a lot of my Ante-Post bets will come back to play if Ballyburn comes in here. Put it this way, just got it.
The thing with only by night quickly as well, they can go as quick as they want, and she won't mind
Yeah.
that whatsoever.
Yeah,
She'll
I
be
suppose,
mustard.
Joe, the only thing exactly you took the words out of my mouth. I suppose with the performance, no offense about the performance of bioluminescence yesterday.
Yeah.
I think only night by night will stick in the mare's chase now. I don't know. It's just it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But sure, it's
Yeah.
the chance you take.
Yeah, interesting, Jamie. I mean, non-runner money back for Ballyburn there. I mean, like you say, you get your money back, and if he does turn up, he's going to go off about a 3-1 shot probably behind Madgebury. So could be a bit of value in that. Ian, there's a Henderson horse in here, Django Bay. Are you going to be backing him, or are you with the favourite, or are you with something else?
Oh, I can't have Django Bay. He's definitely. I think this is smacks a bit of desperation, to be honest with me. I know he probably I wanted Sergino in this to make it a bit of a race, but I think this is definitely a last minute forward. He's been running over 2-3, 2-4, even further recently. So I would rather have even bloody Touch Me Not before Django Bailey. I know he's got form behind Loda Sud and
You've never said those words before, have you, Ian?
Yeah, and Madgeburg. But yeah, I can't. I think it would be Madgeburg, Loda Sud, only by night. I think there'll probably be the 3 in the running, and you'd be lucky if you have about 7 or 8 runners in this race. I think there's a hell of a lot in here. I don't think Springmore Bay definitely won't go here. Coolwell Potter, maybe. Kidley Park, I'm not sure. But yeah, but Madgeburg for me, Scotty, not very original, but yeah, it's just a shame we haven't got the race we wanted.
Yeah, I think Gidley Park's had a setback, so we're not going to see him at the festival. And I think Caldwell Potter's going in the novices handicap chase. So again, like you said, it's going to bring down the field size. So first 2 races, it looks like everybody's kind of not wanting to take on the favourites with a few each way angles. So we're going to move on to race 3. It is the Ultima handicap chase over 3 miles, 1 furlong. Bit of a story here all round. I think everyone's got a few kind of pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that have either been blown away or starting to connect together. Me and Ian are very disappointed with Highland. He's finished second on Saturday in the old Racing Post chase at Kempton. Probably not going to run here in. We were on at fancy prices. I'm really, really up in the air now. I just don't have a strong opinion. The only one that appealed to me was an Irish horse. Ireland have got a terrible record in the race, but I just thought if Affordale Fury turned up here, I think he could be one that's potentially got a big race in him. He was second in the Albert Bartlett a few seasons ago. I thought he was of interest, but Alex, if there ever was a man who should have the Ultima named after him for picking winners, Ian's giving me signs. It's you, Alex.
No, I'm trying to point that way. It's that way, isn't it? Yeah.
That's way, down that way.
It's not that way for me.
Alex, the floor is yours. Tell us who wins the Ultima this year and give us a good explanation and why we should be on it.
I am very keen on Lucinda Russell's Whistle Stop Tour. I think he's totally unexposed. He's had 2 wins over 3 miles in November and December. In those races, he raced prominently and then stayed on strong at the finish. Then came to Cheltenham, raced over 2.5 miles, which I thought was a bit strange, and spent a lot of the time at the sort of the back of the field. And to me, it looked like they were just trying to see if he handled the track, and it was sort of his fourth run to make sure you can get him one of those handicaps at Cheltenham as well. There's talk that he could be their national horse as well for next year, and trainers they often follow the same path, don't they? And Korak Rambler, the year before he won his national, he ran and won the Ultima. Then the following year, he then won the Ultima again and then went to the national. So He's entered for this race. He's 28 to 1. Get 5 places on that as well with 365 at the moment, which I think is an absolute smashing price. My only slight concern is he might end up in the national hunt chase now with obviously the change of the criteria and rules, etc. And he's obviously a novice, but yeah, I'm very keen on him. I think he's got I think he's much better than his mark currently is. Put it that way.
Nice. I'm just having a quick look here, Alex. You can actually get a bit of 33 still on Whistle Stop Tour, and
Oh, can you?
you
Is
can.
that not running a bet though?
No, it's
No.
just the straight open market at 33s on
Okay.
Betfair. So interesting. I do like that. Like I said, 5 places each way on the sports book. Anyone that follows Alex in this race usually does very well. So Whistle Stop Tour for Alex. Ian, I'm going to come to you. I know we're disappointed. We mentioned Highland's not there, but is there anything else that you would be tempted to have a little play on?
Well, I wasn't until I discussed this with Alex. I like Whistle Stop Tour as well, but honestly, I had him.
You
I
slowpoke.
considered this horse, and he told me to back it. So I have backed it, but I have to say I've not looked properly now because I had my head and my heart set on Highland running in this. But yeah, ran yesterday, so me and Alex were there at Kempton, and a bit of a strange run to be honest. Sat at the back, and what was the name of the horse? It was the Thomas horse, the Katati Dory.
Scotty
I
Dory,
thought
yeah.
was very impressive, and just Nico left it miles too late. But yeah, I think I need a rethink, Scotty. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure at this moment in time. I'm not sure.
I mean, that's fine. There's going to be about 20 plus runners. It's one of those races, again, if you haven't got a massive opinion, I always tend to look at the market even on the morning and think, something might stand out. But Jamie, again, I I don't have any kind of clue about you this year on this race. You haven't really mentioned anything. Is there something you're keeping under your hat, or are you a bit like Ian, keeping your cards close to your chest for now?
This to me is one of the worst races of the whole festival. Yeah.
Oh, Jamie, don't say that. It's a great race.
We always
And it's
win this.
it's very poor race, lad. You have to admit it's terrible. Looking at the field, it's terrible. And another rule made up by the BHA about Twig. I'm really disappointed he's not in it. It's a disgrace. They need to have a real reset when it comes to Cheltenham Festival. Anyway, going forward, in all seriousness, it's a joke. The one actually, Scotty, you took, yeah, and it's like the record of the Irish. They're like they never win it. They haven't won it since Dundera, isn't it, for Tony Martin?
It was a long time ago.
I like Affordale Fury if he turned up here too. 25 to 1. It's not strong. It's just a form that everyone is bandwagon jumping for Sam Majest in different races. All right, that's good form behind Sam Majest if you look at it. Was he second in the Albert Bartlett one year to stay away Faye?
Yeah,
Like if you look at that with the collateral, Corbett's Cross was in that Albert Bartlett too, and he's not a bad horse, but he can't jump a fence at speed. Put it that way, Joe. The only other one I looked at, Scotty, and it was only a tentative, was one. What are they doing with Kirbilly? He's too. I know he's a bit short now for me at 10 to 1 for an Ultima, but he's £2 lower than his plate run last year, and he was staying on again. I know Shake 'em Hard Parry, but he was coming back at Shake 'em Up Parry. They've been messing around with his trip all year, and now they're going to try 3 miles in the Ultima. So, course form, do you know what I mean? He has and all that. I know it's coming from the new back to the old, but he still runs good around Cheltenham. Maybe him as well. Them two against the field each way, but it's very tentative.
Yeah. Joe, I mean, I'm looking at the top of the market, and Masaccio for some reason is favourite. Alan King said the other day that he's probably not even going to go to Cheltenham, and then again, I think it falls into recency bias. The Changing Man winning the Reynoldstown, he's second fav. Jamie's mentioned Crebley, and you got Katate Dora, he won yesterday. I'm really not sure again who you fancy in the race. Is there anything that stands out to you?
No, I'll just back whoever Alex tips, I think, to be honest to be honest with you, Scotty. I've got to be honest, in all seriousness, it's a race that I've never really had the best record in. I didn't have Corrick Rambler either time. There's been plenty of times I've struggled to find the winner of this race. I just wonder, mind, is Gold Tweet an interesting run here for France? He ran a really good race in the Betfair Chase. He travelled superbly the whole way around. He's probably going to be quite well handicapped if he turns up here. But then possibly something like Victorino, just a proper stour, good stay-in chaser, jumps well. Look, I'm probably going to have a little bit of a look nearer the time. I know it's a bit of a letdown considering we're doing our sort of day one preview, but look, I haven't really got a grasp on anything just yet. One I would be happy to take on all day long, though, is Johnny Who. He hasn't got the foggiest chance in this race. All of his best form comes right-handed. couldn't be having that for 1 minute at that sort of price. Just seemingly looks like everything that JP runs that doesn't run well. Everyone says, well, that's a plot. Well, that's a plot. Not buying that for 1 second. He's just a dog. I'd be interested in gold tweet each way, I think, for a small bit of money, but I will have a look a little bit nearer the time. Sorry to be boring.
Okay. So Alex has given us the winner, and everyone else is sitting on the fence, which is nice. Ian's on the bandwagon.
Uh,
Joe's on the bandwagon, and me and Jamie like Affordale Fury. So, Ian, we're going to start with you because
okay.
you're the leader and the chairman, the founder of the Nicky Henderson, every single horse he backs, you back, runs, whatever fan club. The Champion Hurdle, 2 miles. I'm going to be honest, I think it's a very difficult race still to work out because it's going to be repetitive for the mares.
It's the mare's hurdle first now, Scotty.
The switcheroo.
It's a
Yes.
switcheroo.
Bloody Frenchman.
The mare's hurdle.
They've done it for all 4 days, Scotty. They've changed all the
They have, you're right.
races.
But it probably doesn't matter because we're going to be talking about the same thing for both races.
Yeah.
Brighter days ahead. Does she run here in or does she run in the Champion Hurdle? I'm going to put like a role play in. Brighter days ahead turns up in the Champion Hurdle and Lossy Mouth turns up in the Champion Hurdle. Who do you fancy to win and why?
Well, either of those 2 mares.
Yeah.
I would have Brighter Days Ahead over Lossymouth, to be honest. I think she was very, especially last time out, and the tactics were absolutely spot on with King and Kingsfield. I still think she'll come here, Brighter Days Ahead. I know it's totally against the grain, and Lossymouth will definitely go Champion Hurdle, but I still think she'll come here. If she doesn't, I like July Flower for Henry de Bromhead. She was very impressive last time out at Leopardstown in December. I'm trying to think who she beat. Carla Conti and Jatara has come out and won since as well, which thanks to form. Not Jada Grugy, I believe, is now on the machine, one of the favourites now for this because of all Lossymouth and Brighter Days Ahead's all up in the air in a minute. Cargeese, I think, will possibly go handicapping. Again, and this potentially, we're talking about the races and how short and compact it could be with regards to entries. I think this could be the same. It could be another short field, sadly. But I think if Brighter Days Ahead goes here, she wins. And if not, I will go with July Flower.
Nice. July Flower's 9-2. All the markets I'm mentioning here are not non-runner money back. It's just the open markets. Brighter Days Ahead is 6-4 the market, and Jada Grugy is 5-2. Jamie, I really think Brighter Days Ahead is going to go to Champion Hurdle. Do you think she's going to go there or the mare's race? Which one do you fancy? And if she turns up in the mare's race, does she win?
I think they wouldn't have left King of Kingsfield in the Champion Hurdle if she wasn't going for the Champion Hurdle. Let's be honest, Joe. I suppose getting back to the race, I suppose, Scotty, I put up July Flower, one of her lucky 15 things. I think about 6-1, 5-6-1. I put them up her each way. I was impressed with her at Christmas. Then Jatara, Frank de Form, he beat Jatara by 16 lengths. Caliconti 4 lengths behind. Jatara then went on to win the Yorkshire Rose in Doncaster, beating Katsira. So that Frank de Form. But like, you got to be very impressed with Jada Grugy during the week of the Q Vega. She still technically has the best form. Do you know what I mean? Like, she beat Spindleberry last year in the Grade 1 Mares at Punchestown. She won yesterday very impressively. The race with Golden Ace, you have to go back on the Mares Novice. They went to crawl, and I think Kennedy and Townham were too worried about each other, and they got caught by Golden Ace, and that's what happened. It's like there's people who saying around like they don't Jada Grugy or Brighter Days Ahead won't act around Cheltenham. No, there was just a falsely won race, and the speediest horse won the race in the Mares Novice. So you have to forgive him for that. So technically, Jada Grugy has the best form. So I think Jada Grugy will win now. I do. I suppose slight worry about a little bit bounce factor, but the same with July Flower. They've only ran once this year, so it's about. But at the moment, it's between the two of them. I don't think anyone will get near July Flower or Jada Grugy. But I've changed my mind a bit. I think Jada Grugy will win now.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Jamie. I do like Jada Grugy. I liked her for the Mares on Novice last year. So 5-2, it's one of those. If the top mares don't turn up, she's probably going to go off around the even money mark. So 5-2 now doesn't look too bad. Joe, what do you fancy in the race?
Yeah, like quite a similar view to Jamie. I was going to say exactly the same about Jada Grugy. I'd be seriously concerned about the bounce factor going to Cheltenham. She's not actually the best jumper as well, which has to be a concern when it does come to sort of Cheltenham races. I'm fully of the opinion that Brighter Days Ahead and Lossiemouth both running the champion hurdle. It's an absolute farce if they don't, to be honest with you. They shouldn't even have the option. They should be going there. And this should be a grade two or capped at 155 or something, just to be forcing the better mares. I even think Golden A should be running in the champion hurdle as well. I'm not saying she's going to have a chance, but she's another. She should have to run in the champion hurdle. I would be siding just about with July Flower over Jade de Grugy, though, providing those other two mares don't turn up. She's the one that's got really solid, proven, graded form. I think her ability's actually been a little bit underestimated. I know she's quite far forward in the market, but I'd be more than happy to back her at this point in time. Again, probably wise if you are going to is use that non-runner money back option because don't know what's going to happen with the two mares, but I believe they're going to go to champion hurdle and July Flower will take all the beating here. I think she's a standout bet in the race at the moment.
Yeah, nice. I mean, if you're looking in the non-runner money back market, Friday Days Ahead 8 to 15, Lossiemouth's 5 to 4. Um, so yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one to really work out still. Alex, is there anything at a big price you like, or are you looking at the front of the market for the mares hurdle?
I'm very much with Ian. I think Brighter Days Ahead will end up in here. She should end up in the champion hurdle. I agree with Joe, but I think she will end up in here. Because I mean they'll see it as a just an easy race they can just mop up. I know probably Gordon Elliott's team probably wanted to go for the champion hurdle because they've pretty much got nothing else for it. So yeah, I think she'll end up here. If it did come up really soft or really heavy, I'd probably have a little go each way on Lantry Lady. I mean, she was fourth last year. I think she could stay on into a place at quite a big price, but you'd have to well have a bit more bottle than I've got to back her now. Definitely need to have some serious juice in the ground. So if next week the forecast looks like it's going to shit down, I'll probably have a little poke then. But yeah, Brighter Days Ahead won't miss in my opinion.
Nice. Okay, so I mentioned it already. The champion hurdle over 2 miles is going to be the feature race, and like you boys corrected me, it's going to be ran later in the day. I think 4 o'clock this year. I've heard a lot of people, Joe, say the theory that possibly the shadows with the hurdles could come into like in the back of people's minds. Like we've seen it with Annie Power, Benny de Deux, Constitution Hill when he ran the last day on trials day. He made that mistake at the last. Does that kind of thing worry you in that kind of race?
I I don't go thinking about it to be honest, but it does make you think why did they move it back? Why didn't they bring the race forward, if anything? It sort of counteracts the argument, doesn't it? The way I see the weather anyway. But um look, I've been getting a lot of stuff. I've been trying to take on Con Hill all season long. Um I think we have to question, is he still the same horse that he was when he won the champion hurdle previously? And people are saying yes he is. Well, we haven't seen that performance just yet. The numbers don't back it up either. I'm not convinced until it happens that he is the best horse. So I want him to go and win. I really do. But I would be all over Brighter Days Ahead here if they, like Jamie said, sent King of Kingsfield in here as well. Go off and set that ferocious gallop there. Because if he has something to chase, he is out of nowhere suddenly going to have to prove that he's a very good horse again. He didn't look the same to me at Kempton. People can say that he won as easy as he liked. Well, he had to work a little bit at first to get past Burdett Road before then sitting back on the bridle. And obviously, Lossiemouth closed the gap after doing everything wrong. So until he puts in a performance like we've seen in previous years, to me, he isn't yet the same horse. Now, a lot of people seem to dish out stick and say it's factual that he's back to his best. There are no facts as of yet to say that he is. Look, I am going to take him on the day. I've been calling this all season. If Bright Days Ahead goes here, I will be taking him on with the big mare. I think her engine is endless, but at the same time, again, to sort of contradict my argument, if you're going to back Brighter Days Ahead to beat Con Hill, she has to wing every hurdle, and she hasn't done that in the race just yet. So that's like the slight concern. But either way, I want to see them all come on here. Brighter Days Ahead, she's beat the current champion twice this year as well. She should have to come here. I understand if you're a small owner, there's 20 of you, 50 of you involved, and you've got a horse going to the Cheltenham Festival, fine, send it to the mares. But like, come on now, this is Michael O'Leary, who's meant to be a big supporter of the support. He's got all the money in the world. Send her to the best race. Like, we want to see the best versus the best. That's how we get people through the gates. That's how we get people through the doors to these race events. You can't go and have her take on some sort of second-rated Grade Two horses when she's beating the current champion. It'd be a farce to me, to be honest. Yeah. So look, I can't wait. I hope Con Hill goes and bolts up by 10 lengths and proves that he's a superstar. But until he does, I'm not buying it myself.
Nice. Yeah. I think that's a good analysis, Joe. To be honest with you, I think you nailed everything there. Ian, Constitution Hill at the moment is 4-6. Is that? I know you're not afraid of getting stuck into a shorty, and I know you love the Henderson horses. We'll take the Mickey out of you for it. But are you going to be playing him at 4-6, or would you like to see a bit of a better price? Whether he does come back in price, would you be happy to take 4-6, or are you looking elsewhere?
I would probably want to back him in a single. I'll probably on the day put him in with something else because I think there's going to be a hell of a lot of people doing the shorties that we had years ago with all the Mullins horses. It'll probably be the 3 or 4 Matchborough and Kopek. They'll probably put into the doubles and trebles. He has surprised me. I beginning of the season with all this when he had what did he have? Colic. And I have to say that really worried me. I didn't think he would come back to it. And we had this with the racecourse gallop and trying to think who ran all over him. Was it Sergino? And I thought, I wasn't like with someone on social media. I thought, he's done, he's finished. If he was to come back, I didn't think it'd be the same horse. I still like him. And he was very convincing at Kempton when he beat Lossiemouth. Last time out was just schooling in public, wasn't it? And I think Nico misjudged the last hurdle. I think that was him rather than the horse. I think he got a bit too complacent and just misjudged it. Brighter days ahead, if she does come here, will make it much more of a race. But otherwise, I don't know. Lossiemouth, when she fell, was a bit of a hard fall, to be honest. I would like to see how she is and how she comes back from it. State Man had won, but I don't think he threatens Con Hill, to be honest. And then Burdett Road 40-1. I thought he could be one for the places, and he was very disappointing getting beat by Golden Ace.
Mm-hmm.
So if Brighter Days Ahead comes out of it, I think there's not going to be much of a race at all. I think there's a bit of a theme here with all the races on the Tuesday. But I'll go Con Hill. I can't see him being a bigger. Was he 13-8 on? I think I can see best price. I don't think he'll go much more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the market could be affected by, say, if Kopek to pull the match for a win, then he'd obviously shorten because all the multiples will be rolling up. I think that's the only angle I can see. Jamie, you're a Brighter Days Ahead fan, aren't you?
Oh yeah, Joe just actually said everything I was going to say anyway. King of Kingsfield is the angle in the race, really, and he's going to go off like the clappers if he runs and she runs. And I agree with Joe. My theory about the race is that she does need to win every hurdle. I think last year, going back to the Mayor's Novice, she had to think about too much jumping because it went so slow. She doesn't have to think about it like she did at Leopardstown. She winged everything. It is a slight worry. There is that, but I think she's a really good. Just look back, Scotty, at the Down Royal race at the start of the season. Sam Ewing couldn't hold on to her. She's so much pace. I don't think. Like, people are saying, because if King Kingsfield goes fast, it'll suit Constitution Hill. Of course it will, right? There's no doubt in my mind that. But this is not the Supreme 3 years ago. People want to get that out of their head. He's not going to go with the same performance of that Supreme ever again. He's never going to get up to that figure because he's had issues and massive issues, right? Now, people said he was back at Christmas. Lossiemouth didn't run a race that day. Can't go right-handed, by the way. And Kempton wouldn't be her bag, right? My theory in the race, if there's no Brighter Days Ahead and there's no King of Kingsfield, and if they go slow, would you believe Lossiemouth has a chance? Because you watched back the International last year, she's all speed. So if they go slow in the Champion Hurl, but the problem with Lossiemouth, if they go fast in the Champion Hurl, she won't keep up at the start, but she'll stay on. That's how I'm visualising her and the way she did. But I think if they go really slow in the Champion Hurl, she has a chance against Constitutional this time. But it's a sad day that they need to do something with Cheltenham, to be honest with you. Grade 2 Mayor's Hurdle, it should be now. They shouldn't have an option for going to the Mayor's Hurdle. It's getting beyond a joke now. We want competitive racing, not cop-outs anymore. It's starting to get annoying. But that's just me. But if King of Kingsfield runs and Brighter Days Ahead run, I've backed her. I have a 10-1 slip for her for the Champion Hurdle. I think she'll be Constitution Hill, Brighter Days Ahead.
And just to quickly add there as well, just to what Jamie said, because we get a lot of stick when we take on Constitution Hill. You've got to be factual, haven't you, James? Like you said, isn't it? Like we haven't seen him repeat that Supreme effort. We haven't seen him repeat that Champion Hurdle effort. Like, so, you are okay to take on these horses, and
Look, it wouldn't be great to be like a Sprinter Sacre, Joe.
That'd be
comes back
amazing.
and
Yeah, it'd be
retains.
great.
We all fans of the race, but we're just giving our opinion.
Yeah,
And
sure.
like he's a fantastic horse. It's not,
Mm,
not
of
brilliant
course.
constitution. And I'd love to own the bloody horse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, it's just this nagging doubt I have about him. That's just me.
And we've got to have them in the champion hurdle. Like honestly, we
Yeah,
do not need four odds on shots in on day
yeah.
one of the festival, do we?
Yeah, I think it's a great way of looking at it. I mean, the counter argument for Constitution Hill is I know he's a supreme and champion hurdle. In my opinion, he hasn't really had to do it at the same time, like the
That's
Fighting
fair.
Fifth and his Christmas hurdles. He's won lots of races where he's had nothing to serve it up to him, apart from Lossiemouth at Christmas, who was a race fit mare who'd won a Grade One earlier in the season, and he was obviously not at his peak, and he still put her away. So to me, that says a lot about him. Alex, what's your view on the race?
Um, it's a tough one, really. It's quite hard for me to find like an angle into the race. Like I agree with the guys that Constitution Hill hasn't backed up that he's as good as he was. His RPR when he raced at Cheltenham in January was 24 and £27 lower than his Supreme efforts and his a champion hurdle win. So I don't think I could back him at 8 to 13 or whatever he is. As I said, I think Brighter Days Ahead will go mares. Lossiemouth I had to find hard to back off the back of a fall. State Man doesn't look like the whole horse of before. Burdett Road looks apparently might be going to the county now. If Brighter Days Ahead doesn't go here, then King of Kingsfield won't. And then, I mean, you're looking at like Winterfog,
Oh
Brentford Hope,
yeah.
Celestia, all those horses like that. So I think my angle at the race would be probably on Golden Ace. And like Jamie said, if those two Jigginstown horses don't come here, there could be a lack of pace in the race, and she'll get what she had in the Mares Novice Hurdle. I'm not saying she's going to win the race, but if she gets a place, I could certainly see her finishing in the top three, particularly if they have a really slowly run race. And 33s at the moment as an each way punt isn't too bad. That's normal and no bet as well. So if she does line up in the mares, you get your money back. That at this stage, that's my only angle at this race. It's
Is
yeah.
that more sort of your thing, like Alex? You don't like you're not really much of an odds on backer, are you? You prefer to try and find a bit of
Yeah, I
value in
mean,
the each way terms, I guess, just being
if you
nosy.
can find a horse that places at 33 to 1, you're going to get something better than back in a fiver each way on a horse that places at 33 is going to pay more than a tenner on as a win on a horse
Sure,
that's
sure, sure.
8 to 13. And at least you've got the chance as well. If Constitution Hill falls early or unseats or doesn't start or gets brought down, whatever happens, like you've got the potential for more. Like, yeah, I'm happy to back short prices sometimes, but when he's not proven that he's the horse he was, I just don't think you could back him at 8 to 13.
Sure, sure, sure.
I'm
I mean,
very
if he'd not had
happy.
his layoff and he was straight in this after his previous champion hurdle win, and he you know, I don't know, it's just hard to back that for me.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm very happy you said that about 33 to 1 Golden Ace potentially grabbing a place. I mean, Lucia did it last year, didn't she? I think
Mm.
she came third at about 28s or 33s. I'm going to quickly, if it's okay, just give my opinion on the race. I'm with the lads here, like Jamie and Joe. I think if Brighter Days Ahead turns up, I would definitely be backing her, especially with the King of Kingsfield pacemaker. I'm massively keen on her. I think she's the winner of the race if she turns up. But I'm going to say it. I just think if one doesn't turn up out of the top three in the market, or I just think 8 to 1 on State Man is a brilliant each way steal. I think he's definitely got to have the race run to suit a little bit better than it was last year. He had to do a lot of the donkey work when Irish Point made the running. He had to kind of just see the job, do it himself. I think if there is pace in the race, State Man will love it, and I think he'll be in the first three. And 8 to 1 is a good each way price. I'm not saying he can win, but that's just the way I look at the race myself. Cool. So we're going on to an absolute minefield here. The next race is the Boodles Juvenile Hurdle, run over 2 miles. I call it the Fred Winter, which is what it is. Stencil is your 5 to 1 Ante-Post favourite with total look at 13 to 2. Willie de Hoore, the Ante-Post Triumph Hurdle horse at the start of the season, is 8 to 1. And Joseph, Mercia, 10 to 1 each way for me, or for you, sorry. I know it's a horse you like. Stealing your thunder, sorry, but give us a word on Mercia for the race, why you like her.
Yeah, no, that's fine, mate. We're all allowed to like more than one the same horse and things like that. But yeah, she's the first handicap selection that I've put up in my odds checker column. I think she's my ninth selection, and she's only just about become my first handicap runner. But yeah, look, she was bought by Kenny Alexander and Willie Mullins with the intention of being a Triumph Hurdle horse. Now, She ran no sort of race on debut, which is fine. Not every horse always has to run up to their level, but she was much better the last day when she was second to Bacchanalian. She was only second by a neck. Bacchanalian actually runs any time now, really, actually, as we're recording. So hopefully that form can be a little bit franked. But the pair were 8 lengths clear of the rest of the field. And she just showed a lot of speed. She was certainly much better the last day than she was on debut. She travelled, she jumped, she had a nice sort of turn of foot. But she looked the complete opposite of that when she made her debut for Willie Mullins. Now, she's a 4-year-old filly by Dr. Dino, who I'm a massive fan of. They sort of excel. I know I always go on about these Dr. Dinos, but they do really well over hurdles. They do excel 2 mile hurdling as their back. Look, State Man's a Dr. Dino, for example. 2 mile hurdles is going to be her bag. She's no sort of chaser or anything like that. So I think everything as far as conditions are going to be fine, whether it's soft or fast. She's not going to mind that at all. She jumps, she travels. They can go fast, they can go slow. It really is not going to matter to her. And I think she's off 133 at the moment. I'm pretty sure that's her official rating. Might be 138. Either way, that's going to underestimate her true ability, in my opinion. I just think she's a bit of a decent bet each way at 10-1 when there's quite a few places on offer and not as many plot jobs as you'd like to call them in this race as usual. So I'd be happy to take my chance on Mercia myself.
Nice. I think one thing I will say is at the moment most sports
Oh,
books are
plot
looking
jobs
at.
in the Boodles. Seriously.
But on that note, just quickly, like we look at like Willie
I
the
know.
Hall, he doesn't look like a plot job, does he either? He's like
No, it
when they
does.
wanted for the triumph, and now he's just got no other choice really but to drop back. So yeah, look,
I'm
I
actually
like her. I like her.
I'm actually going to put Willie the Hull up. I just think he is a horse that drops back to the easier race. I think he ran really well at the Dublin Racing Festival. I was really happy with his run. I think this kind of race where he could be tucked into a big field, it could suit him, help him settle hopefully a bit better. I think he jumps pretty solid. I just think he's maybe a class angle in the race for Boodles. His form ties in really well with Naturally Nimble, Hello Neighbour, all kind of relates to each other. But I'm just going to quickly say, some of the sports books are offering a quarter of the odds, and I don't think there'll be much. First four quarter of the odds at the moment. I don't think there's going to be much movement in this market between now and the festival.
Mm.
I'd say wait for the day because you might get 6 or 7 places. That's the only thing I will say. Jamie, I don't really know if Willie the Hall is the one to be on. That's the one I like. Would you give him a chance, or what's your outlook on the race at the moment?
Oh God, he's no chance.
Yeah,
No
okay.
chance. He won't even be placed. Um, the top of the market standstill anyway is a lady meeting, by the way. Milan Tino 2.0 because
Yes,
it was up
Jamie.
next to
Yes.
bloody East India Dock the last day at Cheltenham. Oh, he's a certainty now for the Bulls. The All English were getting a bit excited. No,
He's a French horse.
yeah, but it doesn't matter. Noel George is from England, isn't he? But anyway, there's three in here. Like Mercy is one, obviously. You could see Paul Townend was at pains to get her to get up the Bacheline the last day at Naas, so she could get into the race. That's just me. He really roasted her up the Naas hill to get her close as well. Do you know what I mean? Definitely one. I think people as well too small bit about Mercia is that they're relying on that Naas race too much for the Bulls winner. It always happens. Bulls has a fantastic record, but I don't hang my hat in that race anymore. Um, the two I like, Scotty, and their form ties in. One had a look at Cheltenham this year. He won in his debut at Navan, and it's the Gavin Cromwell trained Total Look. Beat another horse that I'd Galanta at Navan on his debut. Then he went over to Cheltenham and he was second, wasn't he? Third, wasn't it? I can't remember the horse that won that day.
Terra Firma in Quantock Hills.
That's the
They
one.
said heated, didn't they?
And then he was third behind Slurricane and Beyond Your Dreams, is it? I think it's something like
Yeah,
that
that's it.
at Fairy House. And and Kevin Cromwell got pulled by the shorts and saying about what are you doing basically. No, the vet said he was post race coughing and he lost the right at foreshoe, and I think that's how they got away with it. To be honest with you, because he was at pains not to win that race. He's jumping is a slight worry for me, but he's got to have a chance, especially when they had a look at Cheltenham already. But I know it's switching from the new back to the old. That's a slight worry. It's both in a tighter track. The one I really starting to fancy, and it's 16-1, is has form with Total Look, and it's a horse called Wendrock
Mm.
or
Oh,
Gord Idiot.
lovely horse. You won't find a much better looking horse than that.
He was what 2-3 lengths behind Total Look on debut. Beat Galileo Dame at Christmas, and then finished only 3 lengths behind, which is 13 lengths in total, behind Bash the Lion.
That's such a shout. That is. That's such a
And
good shout.
I think this horse has been plotted all year by Gordon Elliott. And I'm going to make a really bold shout here that the only danger, Irish horse danger, to Lalamba in East India, Doc, go back and watch that race. It's Galileo Dame. Because if it was another furlong, it would have beaten Hello Neighbor that day. And I thought at the time, I thought if she needs one more run now, she's a Bull's horse. No, she's a serious horse, Galileo Dame. And she's a serious chance in the Triumph Furlong. They're all there. It's a grade one. Go back and look. Bash the Line has won. Wendrock only 3 lengths behind it. Form ties in with Total Look. Wendrock beats Galileo Dame at Christmas. 16-1. I'm all over it. All over it. He's a strong handicap fancy for me. It's Wendrock for me. Yeah.
Love
Nice.
that shout. Love that
Yeah.
so much.
He was 7th in the Spring Juvenile at Leopard's Town.
And he was only beaten 13 lengths and
13 and a half lengths.
and they went to crawl that day. He'd be better with pace.
I do like Wendrock, Jamie. You've sold me there a bit. Alex, is this your kind of race to get stuck into?
Sorry, I was just having a nibble on Wendrock in the bet market. Sorry, I'm distracted. Yeah, great case step by Jamie. I absolutely hate everything at the top of this market. Like Jamie was saying, like Stencil, all that sort of stuff. Willie de Hoel, given a mark of 138, he's going to get Irish tax as well. He's been absolutely shafted. The one I quite like is an ex-Irish horse now with Harry Derham, Turn and Finish. He was bought out of Joseph O'Brien's yard, having previously finished second to Put Your Hands Together, who's somewhere between 8 and 12 most places. He's had one run since joining Harry Derham, and he won at Catterick, although he wasn't particularly impressive that day. But post-race, Derham said that he'd had a break since he joined the yard, and this was a prep race for the Boodles. He thinks he'd really appreciate the strong pace, and I'm current price of 33-1. I'm happy to take a chance on that. His form ties him in with the Irish horses, but because he's over here in England, he's got an English mark. He won't get the Irish tax like the rest will. So, yeah, I'm happily take a chance on him at 33-1.
Nice.
But I'll also I've had a go on Jamie's one now, so yeah.
So there you go. Turn and Finish at 33s, and Jamie is selling the story with Wendrock. Boss Man Ray, do you have the winner of the Boodles for us?
I don't think I do yet.
Fair enough.
I'm
Fair enough.
totally honest. I'm just listening
He's
to
just
you
going to
guys.
back Wendrock.
You normally give me the winner, Jamie. Anyway.
Horses?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the top. I was saying about Willie de Hoy. I think, as the guy said, I think he's going to get absolutely shafted after his run at the DRF. He'll be top weight. I'm not sure what the record is like with horses that carrying top weight in Boodles. I don't think actually it's that bad. There was a couple of the Mullins ones. Mercia, I know you guys have talked about, was one I had on my radar. Lady Vega Allen was another one. Again, the formal ties in. You're saying about with Hello Neighbour. I looked at Mumbo number 5, but I think after winning yesterday, I think his rating's going to shoot through the roof. So he'll be top weight. One of the English ones I looked at, I think we spoke to the owner, funny enough, was Quanta Kills. I know he had, was he 25-1? I know he had the dead heat at Cheltenham and was beaten convincingly by East India Doc, who's going to be second in the Triumph on Friday. But yeah,
he's only telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're on about different horses, though, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. I know he's 34 limbs beaten, but he's got that Cheltenham form. I wonder if he could be one for the places at 25-1 for the Grey Tricks team. But yeah, Jamie's very good case for Wendrock.
Oh, Joe, he copied me.
I know. But yeah, but one of the Mullins too, I think, could be. I just need to figure out maybe which one of the two could be, which one has maybe the better scope in Lady Vega Allen or Mercia. But they're probably the three.
I'm just having a look at the stats for the top weight in the Boodles. Only one of the last 10 top weights. Sorry, one of the last 20 top weights is one.
Yeah,
really?
In the last 13 years, I think it's Brazil carried 11 stone 9. That's the biggest weight that's won in the last 13 years. Or so.
One of 20.
I'd say Lady Vega Allen will still go for the Triumph as well, myself personally.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you're saying, Ian. There, especially Mercia. Paul Townend rode her for a reason, so Paul Townend's going to be on Mercia, but without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay.
Interesting one is that Terra Firma one. If we get a bit of fast ground, he's by a horse called Territories. He's got a lovely turn of foot. He nearly caught Quantock Hills the last day. I there's loads you can sort of find angles on.
Oh, you could be there all day.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be quiet from now.
We did look at Lavender Hill Mob, but after that last run,
Oh no.
Hype
stopped.
job.
Ian, I wrote one horse I thought you were going to pick.
No, really.
That's who I
he
thought you were
was
going
he
to
was
pick.
on the list, but like that last time out, I was up. Yeah.
Yeah, there's James Owen's got a few juveniles this year. OPEC being another who's disappointed yesterday. Okay, so a couple of votes for Mercier. Alex is throwing a big 33. Just remind us of the name of your 33 to 1 pike, Alex.
Turn and finish.
Turn and finish, just like Hadji Wright. Brilliant. So the last race, ole, ole. The last race we're going to preview on day one is the National Hunt Chase. It's a 3 mile, 6.5 furlong race. Conditions have changed this year, as we know. It's a 0 to 145 handicap. A couple of horses have suffered, I think, coming into the lead up to Cheltenham. I think the likes of Shannon Royale, I think, is now 147. He's going to be balloted out of it. I'm going to be 100% honest. I have got absolutely no opinion whatsoever apart from a small fancy for the horse. Ian is going to tell us who is going to win. Who is it, boss man?
Transmission.
Transmission. Tell us why.
Well, all these races have been at Cheltenham, so he's got the Cheltenham form. Let's have a look. Highland, I know he was behind Highland, and I thought potentially he was going to be tie the form into everything for these some of the races, about 3 or 4 races. He was 15 lengths behind Highland in October. Let me just see what the next one. And then he come out of 1 next time out. Patrick Mullins, I thought was a very, very impressive performance, beating Java Point and playing Paradise. Then we've got what we've got in December. He was 2nd of December. Again, I thought quite impressive. 2 3/4 lengths. James Bowen on board that time. And then for some, I'm guessing to keep the mark down, he ran in the Cleeve Hurdle, which I thought was a bit of a strange one. You could you could see from far out he was 18.5 lengths well beaten. The race at Gale Road one. I just think the form at the track could be very telling. What's he got to mark? A 133. And some of these others at Haiti Couleurs got 135. Changing Mans and this has got 140. So he could have quite a nice weight. Not sure if he'll get a claim. I'm not sure what Neil Holland is like with claimers or if he has any that ride for him. But yeah, I just think that form could be telling at the course, and he'll be the one for me. But I think best price about 9 to 1.
Yeah. I love Neil Mulholland as a trainer, especially for these big handicap chases. He reminds me a bit of Ferdy Murphy back in the day. He'd always pop up with a random winner, and you think he does it every year. I know he's not had a winner for a few years now, Neil Mulholland. I think one of his best winners was the Druid's nephew, who won the Ultima. Joseph, is there anything you fancy in the race, the National Hunt Chase?
Not really, no. I mean, I see a lot of people talking about Haiti Couleur and transmission. Not totally convinced myself. I just think there's going to be something better handicap than the pair. What that horse is, though, Scotty, I don't know, and I'm going to leave it there.
Fair play. I love that. Love that. Not having an opinion sometimes is good because you can go in and find the winner just by looking at the last minute. Jamie, is there anything you like in the race?
I wouldn't be put off by transmission and by with Ian because of the way it finished the day Patrick Mullins was on it. That impressed me. The thing now, I think, with the theory about this race is 0 to 145 handicap. It's not going to be an old style National Hunt Chase where they crawl for 2.5 to 3 miles and they sprint home. If this is run at handicap pace, you have to look at Haiti Couleurs and transmission because they're used to going around the pace around Cheltenham. The problem is that they're going to stay. I don't think Haiti Couleur will stay. I think transmission will stay. Yeah, he gets better and the race gets better. But lads, I'm sorry. I know he got £10 by the Irish handicapper the last day, and even with £2 or £3, £4 from the British tax handicapper, the favourite is an absolute good thing here. Now as they are, he's been plotted all year for it. Runs in a beginner chase out the back of the telly at Inlet Atlantique, and the Jack Nichols Richards winner who would have won the race Waterford Whispers was in that race. Then he ran. I can't remember the next one. I'll get it. But then he was. Yeah, and then High Class Hero came out and Frank deformed during the week. And then he was in the race with 3 Card Bragg, and he ran well against Joe's Better Days Ahead at Navan. The handicapper saw what they were doing, put it up £10. Now that might be careful, but they know they want to stay under the 145. And if he's what 135 now, if he gets 140, they know he's better than 145 now as they are. He's running in all the right races this year. 7 to 2 is a bit skimpy, but he's 7 to 2 for a reason. He's an absolute good thing now as they are.
Lovely, Jamie. Yeah, I didn't mention the market prices. He is 7 to 2. Horticolor fours, transmission 8 to 1, Captain Cody nines, and then 10 to 1 bar. Alex, you've already mentioned earlier in the show whistle stop tour for the Ultima. I think he's rated. I just looked there. I'll just double check. He's 133. I think he is at the moment.
136.
136. Correct. 136. So he obviously gets into the race. Just tell us what you're thinking. If he runs here, you'll obviously be backing him, I presume. But is there anything else in the race that you like as well?
If he runs here, I back him. If he doesn't, then I now is a bit short for me for a win bet. I'd probably on the day try and double up transmission to place with another horse that I think is likely to place, because I think that he's rock solid to finish in the top three, but I just don't know if he's good enough to win.
Fair. Okay, wicked. Well, we've covered every single race, guys. We've done that in pretty good time. I'm just going to say something really crazy before we go around with the best bets. I mean, Alex has thrown in there whistle stop tour. If that horse goes and wins either the Ultima or the National Hunt Chase, could Kenny Alexander just have an absolute awesome day one for the treble with Jada Griggy in the Mare's Hurdle, Mercier in the Boodles, and even as a top owner, massive outsider, Cargeese in the County Hurdle. So that is something that I just thought was crazy to mention. Okay, before we round up, I'm just going to ask everybody for their best bet on day one. Jamie, I don't care if it's a shorty, a bigger price, your banker for day one.
Well, the banker, I'll give you two straight away with what I said. The banker of the whole meeting is Kopek to board, and each way there is Wendrock. Yeah.
Love it. Joseph, banker for day one?
Well, I wanted to give Mercier as the banker, but you can't have a banker in the Boodles. It's not quite right. So July Flower in the Mare's Hurdle, and then Mercier each way is my next best, if you like, in the Boodles. Yeah.
I like that. So one each way and one nap. Alex, we'll give you an each way and a nap, your banker of day one, and your each way of day one.
Each way will be whistle stop tour, and then the nap will have to be Kopek to board. Before you go to Ian, though, last year on our channel, Ian wasn't sure about the Mare's Hurdle, so he decided to go with the easy bet and gave us the TriCast. So I'm just hoping he'll do that again for us today.
Go on, Ian.
In the Mare's Hurdle. Oh my god. I'll give you the best bet of the day. I think will be Kopek. I agree, but I'll need to stick transmission. I really like transmission. 8-9 to 1. I think. Go for it. Don't go each way. Just go for it. Go for the win.
Lovely.
I'm boss man, boy. You put your
Go
neck
on,
on the
yes,
line. Oh, no way.
Up and away you go.
I'm just going to keep it simple. Kopek to board is my second, my next best of the meeting, so it had to be my best bet on day one. And each way, I'm going to go for Queen's Gamble in the Mare's Hurdle.
Whoa.
There's only
Whoa.
Whoa, where's this come from?
Where did this come out of?
I saved it for the
Explain.
end. I saved it for the end. One more thing, we're going to ask Alex and Ian as our guests. We've got some special guests on for our 4 episodes. Obviously, starting with Boss Man, banker of the meeting. I'm only starting with you because I'm presuming it's a Henderson horse.
I'm trying to give one that's like not obvious and it's not like an odd shot.
We want winners, boss man. That's all that matters. Back winners.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you my lay the festival because I know this.
Yes.
Maureen, Mare's Hurdle. I like 6.5. Better the festival.
And we'll come back to boss man in a moment.
Yeah, I'll go Ballyburn to win the Brown Advisory.
Okay, so Ballyburn in the Browns is Ian's bet at the festival, and his lay is Maureen in the Mare's Novice. Alex, your banker of the whole week and your lay of the week.
I don't know if it's a banker, but can I give probably my favourite bet of the week? It's
Yep.
a good price. Tap on the go for the pipe. And then my lay of the week probably be Stumptown for the cross country.
Lay of the week. Okay.
I think
That's a balls out. No, that is. That's a balls out.
Boss man's fuming as well.
I
I
am.
saw his face then.
I nearly put him up as my bet at the festival.
That'd have been funny.
I think he's a shocking price considering the weight he's probably going to get. So there's going to be something that's going to chin him.
There you go. Okay. Just want to say thanks again to Alex and Ian. Obviously, we are very good friends of yours, good friends of the show. The Cheltenham Exchange is where you can find the boys.
Irons.
Shout out for West Ham. No, honestly, it's been brilliant, lads, and we kept it pretty short, just over an hour. And yeah, hopefully we can have plenty of winners. And good luck to you. And Ian, you've got the quiz running at the moment, the semi-finals next week for Brain Power, I believe.
I need to organise. I'll speak to you three, and you'll find out who the fourth person is tomorrow. And just to maybe sort the questions out and hopefully get the final just before the festival. So just need to speak to you guys and get some time sorted.
Lovely. And we've also got the Cheltenham Exchange Twitter polls episodes in between as well, which are going down really well. So yeah, keep up the good work, guys, and thanks again. Brilliant to see you. Jamie and Joe, absolute legends. And yeah, looking forward to the next 3 episodes, of course. So yeah, thanks again, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe. All of your comments are very much appreciated. All of the views are absolutely buzzing. We appreciate every single one of you. The show was sponsored by Oddschecker, and we'll see you all again soon. Thank you very much.